this is Tiffany from the Sizzix Design Team, and I have a fun tutorial today showing you how to use the new Tim Holtz Matchbox Movers and Shapers Bigz die. So here's my finished project, and I'll be showing you how to construct one of these little tiny matchbook homes and how to personalize it. Let's begin. Here are the papers that you'll need to make the little matchbook home, and I wanted to share these before we begin. You'll need a 3/4 of an inch by 3.5 inch piece of cardstock or pattern paper. This is going to serve as your roof. You'll also need one of these little cardstock rectangles. I just matched it up with the inside of one of the matchbox bodies, and it measures to be about 2.5 inches in length by 1 3/4 inch. You'll need your die cut for the matchbox body, and I just used a 6x6 piece of Lawn Fawn pattern paper. And then you'll also need another piece of 6x6 pattern paper to cut that little state window using your Sizzix eClips. Before you die cut your matchbox cover, you want to position your 6x6 pattern paper in the upper left hand corner, and then you want to make sure to line up your die cut state in around this position, because that's where we're going to create that window. And I will show a screenshot so that you can see the details on the measurements. So this is what it looks like once you've die cut it, and in order to die cut that matchbox cover, you're just going to flip it around and you're going to line up the bottom of your pattern paper with the bottom of that matchbox cover. And I've lined it up with some tape just so I know, and I'm not doing it blindly, it's kind of hard to see. And then you want to make sure that the state is in the middle of that rectangle, and this is the rectangle. That's going to be the front of the matchbox, and there might be some overhang. So I use my fingers and I sort of gauge where the lines will be. So all you have to do is put a cutting plate underneath that, a cutting plate on top, and run it through your machine. And then you set that aside. Matchbox body, and you're just going to fold it as per the instructions. So fold the tabs in, and every fold is going to be a valley fold, meaning folding inward, except for the very small folds along the top. And so now you just assemble it, and I like to use this Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L Easy Dots Permanent just because it gets the sections that I want, and it doesn't have a lot of overhang of adhesive to deal with. So when you assemble it, you just put the tabs in and then fold the smaller half on the top and the smaller part on the bottom. And then you fold in your sides. So that's the matchbox body. And I cut a piece of cardstock to match, and I'm going to stamp a little scene on the inside. And this scene reminds me of Washington State. I'm going to use Lawn Fawn's Happy Camper. And I don't have a whole lot of room to work with, so I'm going to use the 2 trees and the heart, and then 2 green inks because because Washington is very, very green. So I'm going to stamp the bigger tree first, and you can always sort of line it up to gauge where it will go and what it will look like. So now you can just push this down into the matchbox body. And now, using some crafty power tape, you want to assemble your Matchbox cover. Then you slide your body through. And to create the roof, I used my score buddy. And I'm actually going to be using this tiny little score right here. I think this would be 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to score it in the middle. This is 3 inches long, so I'm going to score it right at 1 3/4. And now I'm going to make a notch only where the 2 folds meet. And I'm going to fold this over. And this is going to act as my roof. Just going to add 2 of these Dodds mediums up here on the top corners of my little matchbox. And I'm going to bend my roof and position it on my house. There you go. I created this wood panel. My husband gave me some of his scrap wood, and I created little homes for every place that we've lived for an extended period of time together as a couple. So we started off in Florida, that's where we met, and I just put some waves of water. Then we went to Kentucky for some of his army training, and we had our first child. So it's a little kangaroo with a heart. Then we went to California for a very long time in the desert. So you'll see a little sunshine, and then it has the word sunshine throughout the state. And then we were in Alabama, and Sweet Home Alabama played probably on rotation every hour. And then we went to Washington, and we fell in love with the weather. Even though it was rainy, it just had the most beautiful springs and winters, so we fell in love with the green. And now we're in Louisiana, and there's a little alligator in there with some music notes to represent the jazz music here. So I hope you have fun making your own little matchbook homes. This is a representation of our Army life and Army travels as a couple. Anyways, this is Tiffany from the Sizzix Design Team, and I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Thanks for watching.